Welcome to another episode of You Both Suck. It's your boy, Kunal Aurora.
And I'm Dara Pollock.
Yo, so sometimes, for those who are listening, if you're listening, you listen because you like us.
Yeah.
Right?
And thank you.
And thank you for that. And also, if you haven't already, leave a review, rate, and subscribe. Do all those things. Those make a difference for us. All right? They cost you nothing. They mean everything to us.
Exactly.
And thank you for those who've left us a couple negative reviews. Those are a little rough to read, but also mostly enjoyable.
Yeah. And also there's like 2 of those.
Yeah, I know.
Everything else has been positive, so
don't you want to be the person that adds that positive review to the pile of good people?
don't you want to make my day and Kunal's day?
Yeah,
it takes not that much.
Don't you wish
honestly.
your boyfriend was hot like me? I don't, that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
All right. So every so often, Dara and I will actually like have to hang out on some stuff that is greater than both of us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, like you'll have some food event or some sort of, influencer event.
Sure.
And you'll hit me up and we'll go to that.
Right.
And I'll hit you up for a comedy show and you'll come to that.
Yeah.
But then those are the things those are our own spheres. But then every so often there's something that's outside of both of ours. And in this situation, there's a friend of ours from high school, Andrew, previous guest.
Yep.
His kid had a communion. And then we were both invited. And we both went.
Yes. And I was not sure where you were going with this until right now. So, okay.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's his daughter's communion.
Yep.
And you showed up late. No big deal. And
I did not show up late. I just skipped the church because the church is stupid.
Yes.
And I don't care.
Dara skipped the church, which is truly, I mean, I understand why we got those 2 negative reviews.
That's it.
It makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
They're God-fearing men.
Obviously.
And they're not incels at all.
No.
So I went to the church.
Yeah. Also, let's be clear.
Yeah.
You went to the church for this reason. You went for comedy. You went for bits. I know your game. You're not above me.
I don't.
Literally
first of all,
sit down in that pew and stop because that's what that was about.
Was it bits or to make a mockery? And the answer is to make a mockery. All right. Will it make it to the stage? Who even knows?
I think it will.
In a way.
Most likely.
Let's see. So
Okay.
I showed up, and this is the thing. I can't not go to the church.
Okay.
I'm a member of the clergy.
Right. And you had the pin to show it.
I'm an ordained minister. All right. And I had to go and represent. And obviously, I was late. Very much so. I was 40 minutes late.
Oh, wow.
I walk in there. I've got a cup of coffee. All right. And first of all, I couldn't even find where the property in which we go, where this place is located.
Isn't it just a church?
Yeah, but there was like a school too. I didn't even. I was like trying to get into the school. I look like the biggest perv, just trying to get into the school on a Saturday. I'm like just jiggling the handles. I'm like, let me in, let me in, you sickos.
I was just picturing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing that, and it's like the pastor has arrived.
Yeah.
So I finally find the church, like where I gotta go. And I walk in, and this older lady, goes, "You can't bring coffee inside."
Okay.
And I was like, I go, "Well, this is obviously just water that I'm going to turn to wine."
Oh, God.
And she didn't find that amusing at all.
See what I mean?
I know, but I'm
bits constantly.
I know.
Yeah.
But I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
So then she goes, "You got to throw that away." And I go, "Okay, cool." I walk in now, and I'm like seated in the last row. Right? I'm being respectful. I'm being quiet. They're doing the whole thing. I don't know if it's a communion.
Okay.
I thought it was just a Saturday service.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Isn't it usually like they combine it with like mass or something?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
My church.
Been a minute.
We do it differently. We're all online, so it's a different story. The Universal Life Church, shout outs, reppin', 5 years pastor now, no big deal.
God. Okay.
So I end up doing. I'm sitting there and I don't know what's happening. Finally, the old lady shows up, and I lean over. I go, "Excuse me." I whisper. I go, "Excuse me, is this the communion?" Because I see people taking an elevator upstairs or downstairs. Maybe there's a separate room.
Right.
I don't know. Right? And she just out like the loudest voice possible. She goes, "Yes, this is where the communion's happen." I go, "Are you out of your mind, bitch? I'll kill you."
See?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, how are you yelling this at me?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm sitting there. I don't know what's happening. Finally, people are showing up. They're doing, like, I see little kids shuffling about. They do the thing. I'm there, people, and once everyone starts exiting, they start paying their respects appropriately to me as well.
No, they didn't.
I swear to, yes, they did.
Because you were wearing that stupid
because they were paying
pin.
for the badge, yes, and they
God.
said, "Good to see you, Father."
So insane.
Mostly
So
people we
insane.
know, and they realized what I was up to.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Also, I took the bread of Christ.
Yes.
What's it called? The bread?
I don't fucking know,
Okay,
dude.
well,
I'm not Catholic.
the wafer.
The
I got
wafer that tastes like styrofoam, which
Yes.
I'm not convinced it isn't, by the way.
I got the wafer, and I looked at the priest, and I said respect, and he was clearly pissed.
And you also saved one for me,
Yes, I did.
which was gross.
Actually,
but,
I just
yeah.
saved the one that I got. I didn't eat it because that shit's disgusting.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you pawned it off on
No
me.
problem. Well, you needed it because you were late to the church. Somebody had to repent for their
Yes,
sins.
I obviously that was it.
Right.
Yeah,
so
terrible.
then I run into, Andrew, his wife, the kids, so on and so forth. He's introducing me to people.
Right.
There was that woman who we'd met before, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I can't ever remember. So Bori McBoringson.
Okay.
She just snooze fest galore.
Yeah.
And so she's there, and I go, all right, hello. She's like, I saw you. We met before. And I go, ugh.
I mean, but that sometimes slips out. Like when
It
you've
does.
met someone before, you could be like, "Oh, we've met before." Like it's not like you're trying to be a dick.
I understand. I think that sometimes I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Sometimes people, it slips out.
It happens to me all the time.
Sure.
I feel like. Yeah.
And then I think sometimes people do say it to be a dick.
Sure.
And then at that point, what do you want from me?
I always just say my memory is garbage. I just blame myself.
No,
'cause
I know,
it's
I know, but
true.
I'm not gonna. I understand my memory is trash.
Yeah.
But you think this makes this interaction pleasant now?
I mean, I guess
It's
maybe
not.
not. I just don't really think twice about it. I don't think it's as big of a deal as you, because you made it a point to bring this up to me like it was some huge personal attack.
Absolutely.
And I was like, this happens to me literally all the time, and I just go, my memory's trash. And also,
I'm
if we
not-
met in my 20s, I was probably drunk.
Yeah, but people need to realize something. Make a better impression, okay? How about you step your game up?
Insane.
How about you do something that's going to be remarkable? Why is it always on me to remember every human being I've ever met in my life?
I mean, I understand.
Right?
But you know what? It is fair, though. It means that you left an impression on her, and she did not leave an impression on you.
Exactly.
But whatever, though, it doesn't mean that you're a boring, terrible person.
I mean, it's bordering on it.
So aggressive.
But I did meet somebody that I was excited to meet.
I know what this is.
So excited to meet. And that is Dara's mother.
My mom's amazing.
Yo, your mom is so dope.
Oh my God, she's gonna love
Are
that.
you kidding me? Like, I was like,
She's very smart.
she's smart. She's quick on the draw.
Yeah.
She's so chill.
Where do you think I get it from?
Bitch, stop. Stop, okay? You are a Transylvanian trash bag, okay? All the cool parts of your mom have been cut in half. All right. And they've been influenced by your father. And I'm
Okay.
sure he's a sweet guy. No shade to him. But your mom is so Queens. I love it.
So she is, but she isn't, actually.
She's Queens, but refined.
I was just going to say, because she
she's
does not have an
Queens-
accent.
No. She's Queens, but class.
Exactly.
She's like you know how like in Pokemon they evolve?
Sure.
Yeah, that's your mom. She's the final Yo, rightfully so. That's fair. That's the only thing I could think of. But
Yeah.
your mom is a fully formed, evolved
Yeah.
Queens woman.
Yes.
She's
I
a
agree.
Queens noblewoman, if I may. She's so chill and just quick with it and very like classy and cool and there's just everything about her is dope.
Yeah, literally, I was like, I felt like I was walking in on a date every time that I went over
Yeah.
to them. Kunal's like spitting game to my mom.
Nobody wants your bitch ass commentary when your mom is so cool and just relaxed. Like your mom is taking it in stride. Nothing irks her. If it does, you're not going to know about it until later.
Oh, yeah, well.
And that is something I respect heavily. She's
funny.
She's in the moment, she's processing, and she's moving through everything.
Yeah.
She sees what's going on, and I like it.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the banter
Yeah.
that me and her were having. At one point, Dara is like really ruining the vibe. So I go, can you get me a Diet Coke, please? Can you please just go get me?
Literally did say that to me. I was there for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 seconds. He goes, "Can you get me a Diet Coke?"
Yeah.
And I just threw my hands up and I just went, I fuck this. And I walked away.
And I can't, first of all, I can't believe you did it. I was so impressed that you walked away. It honestly felt like me and your mom were on a date.
Literally.
And I was meeting like the daughter and I go, oh, can this fucking trash bag beat it already? I'm out here talking to DP, the real DP.
I was gonna say, excuse me, we're both DP.
I understand that, but the OG
unfortunate
DP is like my favorite.
I understand.
OG DP, which is her new nickname, by the way.
Okay.
4 letters, all aces.
That's
all
fair.
right? Yeah, she's dope.
I mean, yeah, my mom is great, and
She's telling me about betting on the ponies.
oh yeah.
It's
that
like,
part's very Queens.
Yeah, it is Queens, but if you're going to evolve into a final form,
Yes.
you bet on horses.
I mean, fair.
I'm still garbage where I'm playing scratch offs. I'm still playing
she
the power.
plays scratch-offs,
Sure,
like,
but
every
she
day.
isn't going to talk about it.
Yeah.
She's talking about the ponies.
That's fair.
She's talking about going to Belmont.
It was also the Derby weekend.
Yes.
To be fair, so it was a big
Sure.
day for my mom.
Understandable, but this is what she's into.
Yeah,
And,
no, I agree.
And this is the thing. I'm not a pony person. I don't bet on the horse races, but because of your mom's excitement for the horse races, I'm excited about the horse races. Your mom is like chilling, like she's got her bag on her because she doesn't know to trust these people.
Oh yeah,
And
that's the best
I
part. Oh my god,
love
I was
that.
like, you can put your fucking bag down.
I love that your mom
Take
had
off
the
your
bag
jacket.
with her on the entire time. You're like, you could take off the bag. When you said that to her, I
Yeah.
almost sent you for another Diet Coke. I was like, can you get us a beverage? Does your mom
Ridiculous.
want something to drink? Because
Ridiculous.
you're just out here you're like, you could put the bag down. I go, she can do what she wants. Okay?
Also, half the reason that Kunal is saying this is because my mom was laughing at all your jokes. She's a very good audience.
I
so.
mean, that's not even the case. Even if
Sure.
she didn't, I'll tell you right now, if she didn't like my jokes,
Right.
I'd be even more enthralled by her. Because then it's a challenge.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. No, my mom is a very engaging lady. Everyone
Super fun.
Also, when a few of my ex-boyfriends, when they met her,
Yeah.
they said like similar things. And they also said like, my mom doesn't use words like that. Like she's so smart. And I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, it's annoying growing up
But
with
it's
that
not.
shit.
It's not obnoxious.
It's not
smart.
obnoxious,
Yeah.
but it's like my mom will use like I remember specifically it was one conversation and my ex-boyfriend was like, my mom would never use gregarious in a sentence.
I mean,
it's like this is what I grew up with.
and that's like borderline a word that most people. I would say like there's like a limit. There's like a
Right.
ceiling to
Yeah.
some words, right?
Yeah.
Gregarious is just under the ceiling.
It's just under it. It's not
Yeah.
like my brother is like, and he gets an excuse because he's like on the spectrum, but he's uses words that even my mom doesn't know.
Right,
And
of
we're all
course.
like looking at the dictionary.
Yeah,
like, what does that
when
mean?
when I got to pull out the dictionary,
That's-
then
yeah.
it's a little bit of a problem.
But, yes.
But your mom is like super cool. It was such a fun like.
It was fun though. I had a very good time. Aside from the fact that it was brick in that room, it was
Yes.
freezing, and I assume that is because of the kids.
Yes.
There was a bouncy castle.
There was a bouncy castle.
I mean, the kids. I could understand why they had to pump the AC, but I was legit freezing. I
Yeah.
spent after you left because Kunal. Oh, he's such a good friend. He came to the community. He left like an hour into.
First of
he had
all,
a show.
it was an hour and a half. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah.
And I regret leaving.
Yeah, I mean.
Mostly because the hang was so stellar.
Yeah, it was fun, and
Yeah.
honestly, and the beef tips.
The beef
The
tips.
beef tips, not ever something I would recommend in a buffet situation. That was probably the best appetizer.
I mean, it was hands down. It
delicious.
didn't look it, but it was delicious.
It looked terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was great.
Yeah, it was real tasty.
Yeah, it was overall a very successful day.
I drove away going, man, and I was like looking at the map as to how long it was going to take me to get there. And I'm driving on the way and I go, man, I probably could have hung around for like 30, 40 minutes.
I probably could have stayed and talked to Dara's mom. for
Yo,
30 more minutes.
OGDP is so fun. I was like, this is such a fun environment, you know?
yeah, it's
So
good
whatever. Shout outs, OGDP.
Yes, shout outs, Mom.
Awesome as, fantastic.
And Mother's Day is coming, so yay,
yeah,
Mom.
absolutely. Yo, you know what? Throw in a little extra from my side. Okay?
I will do
Let me
that.
know. I'll Venmo you $10 or something.
You know what?
Spruce it up.
I'll get some scratchies for her and say they're from you.
Thank
she will
you.
love that.
There we
She'll like
go.
it better than the actual gifts that I'm getting her.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
and get a couple win for life.
Yes.
A couple lucky sevens.
Okay.
And that's what I want.
That's her
2
jam.
and 2.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
her
Give
jam.
me. Yeah, that's what I want for her. I'm not going to pay you for that, but you can do that.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I had to go open for Joe Gorga.
Yes, Joe Gorga. How was that, by the way?
Real shout outs.
I like him.
Yo,
think he's
shout outs
funny.
to Joe Gorga
Yeah.
from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
My favorite one.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I've never, I don't watch the show. I don't meet any of these people.
It's the only one I've ever watched.
was
Not to interrupt
New
you, but
Jersey.
it's New
Yeah.
Jersey is like I've watched a little of New York because I felt like I had to.
Of course.
But literally, like through and through, New Jersey was the only one that I was like, I'm obsessed with this.
Yeah, well, this dude, I walk into the green room, and and he's got like an entourage,
Right.
you know, and these two guys look exactly the same. They're not. I'm like, are you brothers? They're like, no, we get that a lot. And I go, and he was annoyed at me, and I'm like, yeah, you literally look the same.
Yeah.
You have the same fake tan, the same glasses, the same 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
I walk in, Joe Gorga is on his phone, bicep curled up, just on his phone like he's making construction deals.
Yeah.
His bicep is massive. He's a tiny dude, but he is stout.
Oh, he's jacked. He's really
he is
jacked.
jacked. And but real, you know, and he's on the phone dealing with some biz, but after he got off, super sweet,
Nice.
real nice guy. The fans went absolutely bonkers for him.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like aware of what he's like, listen, I know I'm not a traditional stand-up. I get it. I know. And it's like, it's good to see that people have some semblance of awareness.
Right.
So the fans ate up his stories. They were
Nice.
all about it. And he was a really chill dude. So
Awesome. That's fun.
yeah, he's out there doing his
Love
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, so should we get to submission for today?
Let's
Because
get to
this one's kind of meaty and it's a little
Okay,
long,
let's
but
go
I
into
think, you know, it's got a lot of fun topics.
It's got drama. And
Mad
speaking
drama.
of drama, let's get into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what now?
No.
Okay, this is our submission. It is from Reddit. My boyfriend went through my phone and found photos of my ex-boyfriend. Ooh, but there's so much more to this than
Yeah.
that, but that's the title. Okay, so my boyfriend, who is 28 male and I am 25 female, were long distance for 5 months. We knew each other before that, but weren't dating. And recently I moved in with him to a new state. I thought this would fix the lack of trust because when we were living in different states, there were multiple times when I thought everything was fine, and suddenly he would be convinced that I had gone home with someone else, was talking to an ex, cheating, had someone in my bed, etc. He also always felt fully justified, and his reasons were included but not limited to me saying goodnight earlier than usual, me not answering a FaceTime the morning I was out at an event, me deleting my Twitter after I had recently reposted pics of him and I, me bringing up playing pool at a bar with some guy. I didn't have my ex blocked on social media. Anyways, I am happy to offer reassurance, especially at first, but the thing is that the only thing that ever made him feel better was me admitting that I had done something shady and apologizing for not considering how something like that would look. I still feel a little bitter about that, and it made me feel slightly suspicious of him because it was so many times that he was convinced I was a liar and a cheat, but feel like I moved past it. Last night I showered, and when I came out, the energy was off. I'm really sensitive to vibes, so I knew something was wrong. He didn't want to come to bed with me, and when I asked him what was wrong, he was short and just said nothing, but something was obviously up. Fast forward, and he ends up telling me that he went through my phone and found photos in my hidden folder of my ex and I, and that he thinks I have them in there because I want to keep them, still look at them, and he says that is cheating, and he breaks up with me and tells me he wants me out of his place by the end of the month. I had completely forgotten about the photos. They're from over 2 years ago. I feel bad because I would be super sad if I saw those types of images and videos of my boyfriend with another girl. I desperately tried to prove my innocence, and I am disgusted with myself for that because I have gone above and beyond to be a reassuring and caring to this man, and it doesn't even mean anything to him. I even moved my whole life out here. Gladly, but I can't ever say that to him because he will say I'm throwing it in his face. I don't really care that he went through my phone, but I am hurt that he wouldn't just ask me or tell me he needed some reassurance. I would have gladly passed him my phone. He ended up apologizing this morning and saying he didn't mean to break up and he's sorry. He said that he went through my phone because he thought it was suspicious that I had recently asked him if he was cheating. This is true because for about a month we weren't having sex, which was out of the norm, and I straight up asked him if he was getting sex somewhere else. Not accusatory, just asked. Obviously he wasn't, and our sex life is fine now, and I've been feeling good, but this situation has sent me into an emotional spiral. Any advice would be appreciated. Yikes.
Always. This is, do you want to kick off?
Or? Like right off the top, this is a relationship that will not last. No. In the slightest. This person does not trust you and has not trusted you from the beginning and has given you pretty much every sign that they don't trust you.
And you've gone above and beyond.
Yeah. Gone above and beyond, but also like there's nothing you can do to please a person who is convinced that you are cheating or that you're untrustworthy.
And when you admit that something you did could be perceived as bad, so they feel justified in their feelings, then you're already losing.
Yes, but I do think that that's valid sometimes.
It is valid sometimes, but it's like if every accusation is like this person has to be right in some capacity.
Yeah.
They'll never be satisfied until they've caught you in this perceived thing that they've always think exists.
Well, exactly. Like I hate to admit this, but I will because whatever, growth. But I used to be this guy. Like in my early 20s, probably teens, I would say. Teens into early 20s, I was very insecure.
We've all accused vast
No, but I mean like I was like bad. Like I
You went through phones?
I did
Dara.
much more than
Dara.
Yeah.
You dirty bird.
Oh, man.
What'd you do? Because I'll spill some tea of my own. Don't you worry about it, girl.
I mean, this is definitely, like I said, this is bad, and I admit, and I would never do this now, and I have not
Listen,
done anything like
don't
this.
I know, I understand the pre-qualifiers, but I believe you to never do this kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
Which makes it fun to talk about now.
I know. I mean, it's fun, but it is also like embarrassing because you have to look back and realize that I definitely was part of the problem.
If you're not embarrassed at early you in some capacity, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
No, I agree. But okay, so I was dating a guy who very similar situation. I just inherently from the beginning didn't really trust him. I can't tell you exactly why, but it was some inner thing that I also felt about myself that like I wasn't good enough, and I self-sabotaged a ton of my relationships. Okay, so like that's
what were
definitely
the signs that he was giving you that caused you to feel that he was up to something?
He was very flirtatious, and like I just didn't love that. Like I mean, I still don't. I think to this day, like if I'm out with like a boyfriend, I don't necessarily want him like flirting with like other women in front of my face.
Sure.
Like it just feels a little disrespectful.
Now, what constitutes flirtation versus friendliness?
Being right, and that's the thing is when I was younger, they were both kind of one and the same. Like now I can tell the difference, you know, and
like I've been really friendly to like a barista.
Yeah.
And with Dina there.
Yeah.
And she's like kind of been like,
I've
seen her flip.
I guess. It depends on what it is. But like back in the day, I pretty much took anything that was like a smile. And after that, I was like, well, you're flirting.
Yeah.
You know, so I was very sensitive.
Really?
Very
Even just
insecure.
a smile. Okay.
I was very insecure.
He's doing like the blowjob motion to the server, and you're like, you're an animal. It's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I will say also the end result of this is that he was doing some shady shit. So I was right in my gut feeling.
Oh,
yeah.
He was doing
shit. He wasn't cheating, but like there was texts, there was emails, there was photos.
This is the thing.
Let
me say something about this.
Yeah.
If your alarms are going off,
yes,
there's a reason.
But the thing
something is up.
But when you're younger, I don't think you don't know that, and you also ignore them. I mean, we all ignore red flags.
Instinct. I think instinct is the only, it's one form of magic that exists in human beings.
I agree with you. And I believe heavily in like women's intuition. I'm usually not wrong.
Yeah, across the board.
About these things. Like when I feel something activated in my like nervous system that feels not right now, I'm like, run away. Like 100%. This is not good. But back then I didn't know that. I thought it was just me being paranoid.
All my female friends the same thing. If your intuition is going off, even when it comes to me, then you're right. You're generally right.
Like say something.
Say something. Yeah, and I'll probably cop to it.
Yeah, and like
because I'd rather get away with it. But
and this is where it gets really fun. So I will get to what I actually did. Because you know that meme where the girl has like printed out screenshots of the text messages and she's showing the guy and it says something like, I feel bad for this guy, or like this guy's funeral date or whatever. Yeah. It's like a meme. I mean, I did that. Like I installed spyware on my computer and a keylogger. So I got all his passwords to everything.
Whoa.
I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of this.
Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
First of all, it's fine you're not proud of it, whatever. But can we take a second to reflect on the diabolicalness of this all?
Yeah.
Yo, straight up. You should. This is hilarious. So let's backtrack, because you opened with some meme and I was like, why is she trying to make this cute?
Oh, yeah. Because I did that.
Okay, so basically you installed a keylogger on your computer. And when he would use your computer, you were able, because he wouldn't check why there would be a keylogger on his computer, but when it's on yours, nobody would think twice. Yo, that is like double, like that's sort of like, you know when they have two drinks, one has poison, one doesn't, and you got to guess is the poison in your cup or mine?
Yeah.
You put the poison in your cup. Oh my God, that is so fucking crazy. I love it.
Thank you.
Yo.
I don't know what to say.
Yo. This is prime trash behavior.
I knew that was
Yo,
coming.
that is fantastic.
It's lazy crazy. I told you.
Yeah,
I'm not getting
that's
up.
not even lazy.
I mean, it's
getting.
it's sociopathic.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Who gives a damn? That's not who you are. You know what I mean? So let's enjoy this for a minute.
Let's enjoy that.
So you put the keylogger. Oh, girl, dust them shoulders off for you.
I was not doing that.
Oh, well, I thought it
but,
was.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah,
No.
a little bit.
Anyway.
I wish you had an apple to rub on your shirt. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So you install the keylogger. And then you're able to see his passwords.
Yep.
What passwords did you get?
It was mostly email at the time because this is going way back.
Sure,
so it was
sure.
email, but I had a feeling because this was a time when everybody was using Blackberries. So it was not, I mean, there was texting obviously too.
Of course.
But with phones at that point, you could just open someone's phone and go through it. There was no passwords.
Right.
So this was purely for emails and just, I don't know. Oh, also I'm lying. Like chat, it was maybe AIM.
It could have been AIM.
It could have been AIM.
It could have been AIM.
It was AIM too.
Yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, it was something like that.
So you got the AIM and you got the email, which is back then the major forms of communication.
Yep.
That's the big ones right there. Those are the only two big guys right there.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so you get that and then what? You wait
Found some shit.
You're not living together at this point.
Not living together, but he was, and the reason I put it on my computer is because he was staying with me a lot.
Sure.
Like 4 or 5 nights a week.
Okay.
And so we weren't living together, but we were like talking about it. We had been together for a minute, you know.
How long?
It was over a year at that point.
So then now he leaves and you go time to get some.
Literally, dude, it was like, and it's like a disease. Like it was all I could think about was like, I go to work and I had a job at this point. So I would go to work. All I could think about was I can't wait to get home and see what the fuck he's up to. But that's a sickness. That's crazy.
This sounds like an alcoholic or a gambler.
Yeah, it was. It's an addiction.
And I know it
100%.
because I've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But let us continue on.
Yes.
So you go now. You get home from work. You log into his stuff.
Yep.
What do you find?
I mean, I found like flirtatious, not appropriate, like emails, a couple of photos, things like that.
Oh, like photos of like other
girl,
women.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That he like sort of worked with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Work crush.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the work
Always
crush.
a work crush.
Yeah.
Goddamn
Yo,
work hose.
shout outs to work crush. Yo, these
Shout
hoes,
outs to the work hose.
yeah, the work hoes. Right. They're keeping corporate. Work hoes are keeping Fortune 500 companies in business.
Yeah.
And also ruining relationships on the side.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. No, also like certain types of porn I found
Yeah.
also.
What kind? What kind?
No, I don't want to go there. It was just like not what I thought he was into. And that was where I also felt even more insecure because then I'm like, how did it wasn't anything crazy.
Sure.
It was just not what I was doing.
When you discover the person you're with's porn preferences and it's so far away from what you guys do sexually, there's an insecurity that arises and it's tough.
Yep.
And I think that any girl that sees my porn searches is going to recognize that, oh wait, I'm not a cartoon.
Yeah, see, that's so much safer.
It's safer.
You can't be a cartoon.
You can't.
There's nothing you can do to do that.
Absolutely.
But you know? In my case, it was a little different. So
big booty
it was
Latin
like
women?
Big.
Oh, BBL.
Like big girls.
Big,
and
yeah,
I was just
BBWs.
like, I'm not that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was like, oh my God, is this what he likes? I mean, that's fine.
Right.
But I had no fucking idea. And then it becomes this thing in your mind, especially when you're insecure and you're young. He likes something that isn't me.
Right.
And
but
so
I still
then,
think that in that situation, you at that age, of course, can feel extremely insecure.
Yeah.
And I think that there's nothing wrong with feeling insecure. It happens, right?
Yeah.
But I think that now at this age, if you were to find a guy's porn preferences and it's for a bigger woman, but it's like, but the sex that you have is still good,
right?
Then I think that it's just them fantasizing.
Right. And I understand that now more so.
Sure.
And back then I was very weird about like sex stuff too. Like I don't, that's a separate conversation, but just like body count. Like if he had slept with a lot of people, I was so judgmental of that. And now I'm like, I don't give
that
a
he was
fuck.
talking to, was she closer to the porn category?
Not much.
Okay,
I
cool.
wouldn't say much diff, so it didn't, you know.
Because if she was, then it's a huge problem.
Yes, because exactly.
Then it's like he's pursuing it.
Correct.
You're
but
right.
it wasn't really that, so, you know, whatever. But anyway, so I found that stuff, and then, I went ahead and
printed it?
I printed it out.
Yo, first of all, printer ink is not cheap.
I mean,
it is not cheap. For you to print it out, like you have the resources of the NYPD at your disposal is crazy.
I was rich at this point, though. Yeah, this was before I bought my apartment. Right. So I had my settlement money, and I was like, throw $500 at the keylogger software. Absolutely.
You bought the keylogger software was $500?
It was over $500.
That is...
Dude, I told you, I'm not proud of this behavior.
Girl, I love this. I wish I was rich enough to be like this.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay, but no, for real, no one wants to be this way.
No, of course not.
And we'll get to that, but no,
sure.
So I printed it out.
Listen, we've made enough qualifiers. You are grown. You have grown. You've evolved. You're a better person. But to pay $500 for keylogger software is phenomenal.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
do you still have it?
No. Oh. I don't. Do you know that they probably destroyed my computer? It was on a PC.
Sure.
Probably so many viruses on my computer
Of course. Oh my! I was gonna borrow the software. I'm still messy. Yeah.
No. Yeah. It worked great though. But
of course it did.
Anyway,
you confront him with the printed papers.
Yeah. Well, so no, I asked him first. With the papers behind my back.
Behind your back?
As you fucking do.
Wait, like this? Like literally behind your back?
I was just like, so, you know, what were you, when was the last time you spoke to what's her name? And he was just like, oh, it's been easily like 2 months. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. And I just like threw them in his face.
Spider-Woman the papers at him?
Spider-Woman the papers.
Did you print the pictures too?
No.
Okay, because that's a lot. That's a lot of ink.
That was too much. Yeah, that was a lot of ink, and also it felt more. I didn't want to see it again.
Sure.
You know,
of course,
at the time, because like obviously we can laugh at this now, but this was very traumatic.
So
for me.
you throw the papers at him.
Oh yeah.
What does he say?
He flips out.
Flips out.
What
does he say?
Then he's like, you're crazy, blah, 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 which he's not wrong. But
sure, of course.
At that time, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
But then he went into crying, and then he went into apologizing, and then he went into, like, just telling me how much he loves me and all this stuff and blah, blah. And, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't not believe that that was true. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that this guy did love me, and I know whatever, but I think he was also an insecure person. I think we both were in just different ways. Because also, let me caveat this, and this is going to sound maybe douchey, but it is what it is. I think I was a little out of his league in the looks department.
Okay.
And people let him know that on the reg, which I did not enjoy.
That's rough.
And it's tough because, I mean, imagine and guys do this. Guys do this a lot. They'll 100%. Be like, oh, you with this fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like, look at you, you're so beautiful. What are you doing with this guy?
The minute a friend of mine's new girlfriend walks away, that's the first thing out of my mouth.
And that's what I'm saying. I get that guys do that.
That's horrible.
But I think that it fucked with him a lot. And I think it fucked with him a lot because I think he was sick of hearing it. And you can't really do anything to stop it because you're men and you don't say shit like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's not right.
It's not right, but it's
how we are.
And you just take it. Yeah. And I think in his way, this was his way of making himself feel better. Because it's not that I wasn't a good girlfriend to him, despite the,
despite the fact that he was an uggo.
No, but like, I'm saying aside from the crazy shit that I did, I thought I was a good girlfriend to him and I was like appreciative and whatever, but for whatever reason he wasn't getting what he needed, I guess. So whatever. My point is that I think we were both insecure, but he was like apologetic and yada yada. But I mean, long story short is that I did not trust him from the beginning. Yeah. Then when I found this shit,
of course,
he was so forthcoming with everything. He was giving me his passwords like up front, and I was like, I got him ready. He was literally like, you could look at everything I do, like, and at the time, I thought that was like a good thing, and I'm like, that's terrible.
It's so
the relationship ended a few months after that because I was finally realizing like, this is not how a healthy relationship should look.
No,
I shouldn't
be.
Yeah, I shouldn't feel this way.
Right. It's got to be. You got to trust.
You got to trust.
Do all that stuff, and it's like,
yeah.
Listen, I looked through.
I was just gonna ask. So have you done?
Yes, absolutely.
But was there a reason, or
it was insecurity.
Okay.
It was absolute insecurity, and I've never found anything.
Interesting.
I've never found
in my mind,
anything.
you always find something that's gonna piss you off. That's why it's not even worth looking.
I think this is the thing when it comes to that kind of stuff with. Actually, a girl's looked through my phone that I was dating, and she found some stuff, and she was rightfully so mad. Yeah. And I tried to play it off. I was like,
what did she find?
She found like text messages, and she was like, this is like so messed up. Like, how could you? And I go, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
That was your answer, you goon.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, fucking guy.
What? I can't talk to some ladies.
I got to talk to some broads.
Yeah, I'm out here talking to a couple hewers. They're just hewers. You're my main squeeze.
Exactly.
I'm doing that. So I'm out here just like, and I've looked through phones. I've looked through.
Yeah.
And you know the thing is, I'll admit this. I've looked through, one time I looked through Dina's phone.
Okay.
You know? And
Sure.
I felt, this is what, and you know what? Speaking of the drug, because I did that.
Yep.
I picked up her phone. I know her password.
Right.
I looked through her phone and I go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I
That's
doing?
the realization.
What are you looking for?
Right.
It's like, what does this serve? Like, how, if you are being cheated on, man, so what? It's gonna, listen, I'm not saying it's not gonna.
Oh, you're saying like don't try to find it. It's going to appear at some point.
It'll find its
way.
If it doesn't,
I agree.
And if it doesn't, that's also fine
yeah,
too.
technically, ignorance is bliss.
No. I've said this before on the podcast.
Yeah.
My buddy's wife said this to me. She said, if he's going to cheat on me, that's his business.
Yeah.
And if the only respect he owes me is for me to not find out.
I mean, but the thing is, like, never find out.
I mean, I think that's, if it's like, listen, it happened, mistakes are made.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like one
and done. I mean, look, that excuse can be made a ton of times over and over again.
Sure.
If you don't know about it.
I understand. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But at the end of the day, it's
here's the thing. And I think with people who have been together for a really long time, I think that this next statement doesn't apply because whatever, I think when you're with somebody for a long time, you're going to go through rough patches and things are going to come up where maybe you get suspicious over something and you look.
Right.
But by and large, when you like have the urge to look through someone's phone, it's always a you problem. And let me finish.
Yes.
Because I don't think that it's meaning that it's you're the problem, but it's a you problem in that you're either insecure about the relationship or you're insecure about yourself. Both of these things have to do with you because you can sit there and do what I did and be like, oh, but it was him. He was shitty. He was shady. But it's like, well, then why are you with someone who's shitty and shady?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I realize that now.
It always becomes that you're the culprit in this situation.
In a way,
and I picked up the phone and I was looking at her phone and I go, what is wrong with me?
Exactly.
And
why
I was
am
like,
feeling
this was
way?
years ago.
Right.
And I was like, what is wrong with me? And I was like, that's so crazy for me to do this.
Yeah.
And then I put the phone down and I go, that's so silly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where are your insecurities? What are your problems? How about you focus on that?
Like,
you know?
And like the time that I looked through my ex's phone, the one who like up and left, because that was a dramatic, traumatic, and very sudden breakup.
Yeah.
I asked to look through his phone, and even when I was doing it, I was like shaking when I was doing it because I didn't want to do that. I just was so out of my mind that I didn't know what else to do.
And I think there's something to be said for those that are looking for answers.
Exactly.
When realistically, you know what the problem is? You're hoping that the answers are right in front of you.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, the answers are always still inside.
Yeah.
But you don't want to dig for them.
100%. You don't want to dig for it. And in that case, it was like definitely a different situation. And also looking back, just huge mistakes on my part. I only looked at the text. You got to go to Instagram DMs.
Sure,
You got to go to WhatsApp.
the hidden folder.
What was I thinking? Oh,
The
yes. So let's
hidden
talk about
folder.
that. Because
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I have never done this, but I know guys love hidden folders for their exes. And I
Yes.
just don't understand. It seems too risky to me. I don't do it. Do you do it or did you do it?
I have a very firm belief system when it comes to pictures of women that you were with.
Okay. Which is
Once you're no longer with them, get rid of them.
in your camera roll. You delete them.
Camera roll,
Yep.
DMs,
Okay.
emails.
Yeah.
Like there are times when have thought about like, oh, pictures of girls that I used to hook up with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was single, I'm like, well, and I'd look through my email and they're all gone.
Oh.
And it's like, because I had deleted them at some point.
Yeah.
Now, are there pictures of other girls I've dated or hooked up with where it's them,
Right.
but they're not like in some sort of sexual thing. Like it's their face.
Okay.
Like there's some of those still left.
Right.
But I've never felt the need to delete them because I never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, fine. But one time I found a Polaroid of a girl that I was dating,
Yeah.
her topless in my stuff.
Okay.
And I I was like, I got to get rid of this. And I destroyed it.
I mean, I think that that's probably the right thing to do.
It is. I just think that it's like, man, the whole idea of keeping them for some sort of thing, that's gross.
I don't know, though. I feel like some guys think differently. Like,
No, they're
with
wrong
you.
is what I think. Yeah, I think they're gross. I think they're absolutely... I know they think differently, but they're thinking wrong.
But okay, so what is the difference, though, in your mind between that and porn? Because if you're not actually talking to this person, do you think that it's a gateway drug? Do you think that looking at those photos or something could lead you to doing that?
I just think that it's like, this is your relationship with this person was a way then. And now it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And there's certain caveats that come with it. Unfortunately, the internet leads to a lot of permanence.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What makes that different than like looking at porn?
Porn is like, you didn't have a relationship with the porn.
Right.
So you had a relationship with this person.
Yeah.
And now it's like, that's over. And I think anything that came with it, gone.
Okay. So no. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm with you on this.
Yes.
However.
Right.
I still feel like the argument could be made that if you're not speaking to that person anymore, they're not in your life, how is it really any different than just looking at a photo of somebody else online and jerking off to it?
But you had the relationship.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
So it is a little weird, and trust me, it would bother me too.
You can't not tie that together in some way. It's impossible.
Right. But
like
it's not
any
cheating.
Porn, it isn't cheating.
Which is what this guy said.
Sure.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
To say that having photos of your ex is cheating.
Yeah,
That's psychotic
this
behavior.
is an extremely insecure person.
Exactly.
Right. And it's like, we don't even know what exactly those photos were.
That's also
or
true
videos,
too. Yeah.
right? It could be like her riding bareback. We don't know.
Yeah,
it's just fine. But it's just like, or bareback, reverse cowgirl. Clearly, I have plenty of sex. I'm talking about horse riding.
I have the sex.
Yeah, I have all the sex.
I have all of the coitus. Yeah.
Big lover I am. So it's like stuff like, I think that there's, because you can't not think about the relationship.
I mean, yes, again, I'm with you. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still think that any guy, like, get rid of it. It's disgusting. I think it's
weird.
Gross.
It's crazy.
I think it's gross.
And I know that I had an ex who kept a lot of photos of me. And I knew about that, and he was like eventually dating somebody, and I was like, you should probably get rid of those.
Yeah,
it's weird. But also in that case, we were also like still talking, so it's like that makes it even weirder.
It's even worse.
But it's also like, how can you control it? I guess they're technically allowed to do whatever they want to do if they keep them.
Yeah,
who's gonna know? I guess.
I know, but it's like, I guess they can do it. It's like, have some. To me, that's the difference between integrity and not.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wouldn't like it, but I would never liken it to cheating. This is definitely an extremely insecure person. She should not be with this guy.
No.
There is no way. This guy has, like I said from the beginning, been looking for reasons to break up with you. Like, I had a friend who had a situation like this with a guy she was dating where he also went through her computer and went through her emails and shit and found some stuff he didn't like. But it's like, there was no reason for him to do that other than wanting to get out of the relationship.
Absolutely.
And looking for reasons.
100%.
And like I said, a lot of times you do that, you find them.
None of them are good reasons for what you're doing. And that's why it's like, and also you moved to a different state to be with this person.
Yeah.
And it's like, now you're having to sit here and you've been able to, like, you've been giving assurances left and right.
Yeah.
This is the problem, is the person.
Well, and also I would argue that she probably moved as a way of reassuring him.
Yes.
I bet anything that was the 100%. Reason she moved to him and not they moved somewhere else together.
Right, of course.
She did that to be like, look how much I love you and look how much I care and look how much you can trust me. And it was still not enough. Nothing you ever do is going to be enough for this person.
Right. If they're this kind of person, they're going to be this person until they change for themselves.
Exactly. Which is
not
like,
you causing them to change.
Right.
They literally have to walk through this problem on their own.
And that was literally me after my relationship with that guy ended. I vowed to finally be single for a bit before I jumped back into a relationship, because I was somebody who used to bounce from relationship to relationship because I was just so painfully insecure. And this was the way I filled up that cup. But then I realized that was the moment, the aha moment where I was like, something is actually very wrong with me and I need to work on that.
Do you think he's cheating on her?
The guy that in the submission?
Yeah.
I don't think he is. I'll be honest with you. It sounds to me like he was more like a me, just very deeply insecure and self-sabotaging. I don't know that he was.
Know.
I mean, no sex for a month is a little weird.
That's what I'm saying. That's what seems a little suspicious.
It's possible because look, it can be projecting, right? I mean, look, that was in my last relationship when he was like, I feel like I don't deserve you, and he like broke down and was like crying about it, and I wrote about this on my blog if you want to read it. But like that was clearly him projecting, him not feeling good enough for me, but then also looking like for a way out, you know, in a way. So it's like, I don't know. It could be that the guy's projecting, but there's not really enough information to make that call.
And you know what's great is that she's just willing to move past that.
Yeah.
She's just willing to go, you know?
She's too in it. She's too in the thick of it because I think also, like I said,
it's wild that she's 3 years younger, 25, and more mature than this guy who's 28.
Yeah.
When realistically, in your 20s, you shouldn't be that, like, you know?
I agree, but also women mature much faster.
Much faster.
Than
much
men
faster.
do. Like
Absolutely.
the guy that I'm talking about, the one that we had that whole thing, he was 7 or 8 years older than me.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And like, you know, this is what happened.
How old were you when that happened?
23,
24. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was
really solid stuff. I'm impressed.
That kind of time.
Yeah.
That kind of time in my life. I was toxic as hell.
I remember one time I'd gotten cheated on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you know, I was so mad.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember I called the girl who I was dating. I called the school up trying to get information on the guy.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I know.
Wait, that's weird though. Why?
Because I wanted to find out who he was.
Yeah,
what was he about?
What's he like? Yeah, I get that.
And I was like, I felt so insecure.
Yeah, there's
and
nothing.
so small.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get information on him, and I was like pretending to be this.
It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah. I think I was like pretending to be like somebody calling from like the police from the calling this college upstate.
Yeah.
To be this. I was a weirdo.
It's all consuming though.
Yes.
It's literally like I was saying before. It's like a disease.
The addiction of going into stalkerish, stalking behavior, key logging, password, all this going through the phone. It's such an addiction, and it's like you know how alcoholics, it's the alcoholism, right? Gambling's the gambleholics, it's the gambling. Yeah. Like what is it, like an addiction to insecurity? Is it an addiction to distrust?
I think
it's an addiction to chaos.
I'll be honest. Well, it is an addiction to chaos. I also think it's an addiction to wanting to be right in some ways also, like wanting to validate your feelings for feeling so insecure.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I know I'm insecure, but there's a reason. There's gotta be a reason, and it's them. And it's like...
It's always those people that are like, it's like, you know... They're out to get us.
Exactly. And I had very much that mentality when I was younger. Right. It was always that. And a lot of times it was completely baseless. But there were those times where my like red flags were going off left and right, and I didn't know how to handle them. I didn't know if they were right. I didn't know how to process them. So my way of taking it and like handling it was actually to just self-sabotage my relationships and or look for reasons to break up with this person and to run away because they're gonna leave anyway, or they're gonna hurt me anyway. That was like my mentality around it. So yeah, it was really healthy and really fun. Don't recommend, but yeah, she needs to get away from this guy.
She needs to get away. So let's do some judgment. I think it's time for some judgment.
I mean,
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go first because I feel like you've got more profound things to say about this. I'm going to say, he sucks. He's, you know, it's like he sucks and he doesn't even realize it yet.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, he's beginning the journey of understanding how much he sucks.
Yes.
Like I remember when me and not this girlfriend, the one before, when we broke up, I put so much on her. And then it just took me time through therapy, through AA, through these acting classes to like really kind of understand. Not only was I learning who I was learning who I was in the world. I was learning who I was as, you know, in relations to everyone else. But I remember going, like talking to her because I still see her, this ex-girlfriend, you know, I still see her from time to time. She's in comedy. And I apologized. I was like, this is on me. Yeah. Like I was such an asshat. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, you just did not deserve all this guff.
Right.
That I was all this nonsense. And I've never not been forthright about it. You know? And she's like super chill about the whole thing, but like still.
Right. Yeah.
So he doesn't even you know, he doesn't realize he sucks yet.
Yeah.
But he does.
Absolutely.
So he sucks.
I agree with
Girl,
that.
get out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he is the one who sucks. Like, you suck a little bit for staying in it, but at the same time,
25.
and also I know myself, like, when I was putting that guy in the position with the like text messages and throwing it in his face, it's manipulative as shit, and you can be manipulated into thinking that you are this gigantic piece of shit, even though like whatever. And don't get me wrong, he definitely fucked up and did like wrong things. I'm talking about in my scenario, but we also met up years later, and I admitted to being crazy about a lot of things that I should not have been crazy about. And I think that sort of set the tone a little bit for the relationship, but at the same time, he didn't have to take it further. So it was almost like we both kind of knew that it was not the best thing, but, he's also married now, doing great. So, like, whatever. But
just that image of you with the papers
Spider-Woman
throwing it at him. Ha!
Oh, yeah. I did that also with his phone once. With his ex-girlfriend was texting him, and I threw the phone in his face. I'm big on this.
You're big on the
apparently.
throwing.
Big on the Spider-Man throw.
Nice.
But no, and I agree with you, though. This person is like how I was, needs to be single for a goddamn minute, needs to work on themselves, needs to go to therapy, needs to read some fucking books and realize why you're doing this, why you're pushing people away who are genuinely just trying to love you, probably. And like, he needs to work on that himself. I was somebody who thought I could do it while being in a relationship. You cannot. If you have these kinds of attachment issues and avoidant patterns and like dismissive avoidance and fears of all this shit, and you cannot let people in and trust them and whatever, you need to work it out.
100%.
It's never going to work. So he absolutely sucks in this situation. You need to get the fuck out of this relationship, or this guy is going to drag you down with him. And before you know it, you're just going to be staying inside all the time, basically with a chain around your ankle, because he won't trust you anywhere you go.
And now anchored with kids too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
probably. Yeah. That's
Beautiful.
It. Anyway.
All righty.
Yeah.
Fun episode.
Good times.
Had a good one. This was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Listen, if you want to submit a squabble, how do they do so, Dara?
They go to our Instagram at You Both Suck Podcast across all the platforms. It's also linked in our bio in the description on YouTube, and you can submit that way and give us a follow. I'm at Dara Pollock.
I'm at All Day KCA.
And that's about it.
All right,
See you
cool.
guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.